visceral real was kind of the paramount versus anything in this movie, to make sure it feels real. I love the fact that both the actors worked really hard to get trained up. And it's really funny because, Brad's actually, as he's keep on racing, he's getting better and he's better. And I'm going like, wow, maybe we should reshoot that.
Welcome to season 2 of How They Filmed That, where we break down movies, TV shows, and commercials with the people who are actually there making it, telling the real, true BTS and secrets of what happened on set and how they created these incredible filmmaking masterpieces. Sony organized a chance for me to talk with Claudio Miranda, an absolute legend of cinematography with an insane roster of movies under his belt like Life of Pi, Oblivion, Top Gun Maverick, and he just shot the new F1 movie. As a huge fan of F1, I was super curious how they were able to get cameras into the fastest cars on Earth.
Normally, film equipment, you could barely go above 60 miles an hour. That would have been a tragedy to shoot a Formula One car going 60 miles an hour.
And of course, he developed some secret tech, including perhaps a new camera from Sony.
I could say that, we did custom design a camera that was able to pan and operate from the central control place. I mean, I could say that, right?
I tried to get as much information as I could for you guys, and let's be honest, even more for me.
All right, we are here with the legendary Claudio Miranda, has shot some of the most insane movies, including the F1 movie that's coming out real soon, or by the time you're seeing this, probably out. Are you a fan of F1?
Slowly.
When I was watching the races, I would watch you guys do your thing, and I've been trying to figure out what are you guys shooting on and all that stuff. So now I get to actually ask you some questions. Right. Typically, I like to ask what you shot on, some decisions on lenses and all that, and then talk about a few of your favorite scenes and what made them your favorite scenes. Maybe in this case, we can talk a little bit about technical challenges of shooting something like an F1 car.
I mean, I think the main challenge was trying to get the speed up. A lot of movies that I kind of reference or look at, by the time you shoot the guy inside, just feel like you're going dead slow. And
yeah.
F1, for me, is like you're in an open cockpit.
Yep.
It's very open to the world. We wanted to stay away from volumes or other rigs where the car goes on, and we just felt like that would just feel too non-immersive or just, I don't know, stale in some ways.
Yeah.
And there's only so much speeding up tricks you could really do to make a car go 150 plus miles an hour.
Yeah.
So there's no camera car that would actually go those kind of speeds.
I feel like you probably learned a lot on Top Gun.
So this is in a way, like Top Gun, except maybe more of a 2D version of it. But
yeah,
yes.
I feel like Top Gun was obviously its own set of challenges in terms of the gear and technical stuff that you had to do. Did that carry over to the F1 movie?
Some of it did. I mean, the F1 is more like Brad had to drive with cameras in front of him. So that was just a little bit of a challenge because they need to really see where they're going. And the more they're able to see where they're going, the faster we can go. So there were some technical challenges on that, just trying to make them able to drive as fast as they can and for us to be able to photograph it.
So what camera did you use?
I worked with Sony to build a special prototype that was basically, like a little sensor on a stick is kind of what the prerequisite, and they built a camera.
Something a little secret right now?
Something a little bit off menu. But the drivers were able to see where they're going and still have, excellent quality.
Was that something you needed specifically for this movie, or was that something that you're like, oh, I wish I would have had this on Top Gun, and then you kind of came up with this new thing?
I think this is a new thing specifically for this job.
And what lenses did you choose? Did you shoot on just one set of lenses, or are you kind of mix and match?
We still needed to be small as we can, just like the same issues we had on Top Gun. Same formula we did. We're on Voigtlanders and Loxias.
Okay. And is that mostly for size or?
Size. Weight was a big issue.
A lot of the decisions you're making are purely physics-based.
Physics-based. The car had to go 150 plus miles an hour.
And you guys had, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had F2 car, they weren't F1 cars, but they were F2 cars made to look like F1 cars.
They're like slightly extended F2 cars.
Yeah.
And I worked with Mercedes they helped design the car along with a guy named Graham Kelly, who was really instrumental in building the car. So.
And then you guys were actually shooting during races, live during the race. You guys would have there would be an extra team.
We're the 11th team.
Yeah.
So yes, we would be, shooting around the track, and then they would have to do their qualifying races. So then we got kicked off the track.
Yeah.
And then we had like another like 5 minutes or 10-minute window. We do a little lap.
What's the strategy? How do you prepare for that?
We had an amazing AD, Toby, just working with them and getting the times and the slots. And we have between 12:15 and to 12:25 that we could run 2 laps.
Is it like you have a specific shot in mind, or a few shots, or are you guys more run and gun, kind of like documentary style, like because it's
We wanted to run our cars when all the fans were in the stadiums. So that was a big part of it, to have the whole sensation of everyone really being there,
Right.
versus just crowd extensions and all that stuff.
I mean, you're also filming like Brad, and the other drivers are kind of in the background and stuff.
Yeah, so we actually had, there was one amazing day where a lot of the teams brought their cars out for this little red flag moment, I guess it was called. And all the teams actually, it was kind of like, you're kind of like, oh my God.
Pressure?
It was a pressure because we had to rehearse and stuff, and we had this little minute where all the teams would bring out their cars, and actually Lewis Hamilton participated in that scene as well. And you could see him with the whole lineup of all the cars in the supposedly like red flag scene that we kind of made up. So I was like, I can't believe shooting this now. Like,
did you go to any races beforehand to kind of like research how the races go, or you just went into it kind of blindly, like because it's a whole like culture and a thing, right? To go.
I went to the Miami one.
Yeah.
I saw that one. You got to figure how you're going to capture it. I know I wanted to capture not like it has been done before. I really wanted to capture cars really going at speed.
That kind of leads me to my next question: is like, how do you think about light in those situations where you can't really light anything?
You can't really. Backlight will eventually be front lit because it goes around the track, right?
Yeah.
So eventually you'll have backlit some of the scenes. Yeah. But so you try your best. What's really interesting is that the Abu Dhabi race, that actually starts like an hour before sunset.
Yeah.
And so it goes,
evening.
and then it goes evening and night. So that was one race that really had kind of a great light transition.
I've been to that race, and I've been to the one in Jeddah, and that's full night, and to see the cars, because the garages all have their like lights on the cars, to see the cars like that was like so much better than just like in the bright sunlight,
They're different because Abu Dhabi, the stadium lights are from far away.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of night driving, but Vegas, the lights are really close. So the sense of speed in Vegas sometimes appears faster because you get more of this, this like lighting kind of effect. And I think that is something pretty. You feel that it almost seems like it's a faster race.
Yeah, right.
Because the lights are so close and giving you that like warp speed kind of effect.
How many races did you guys do?
As far as physical races went to, we went at Spa, Monza, Abu Dhabi, Vegas, Silverstone, where everything was kind of based. The Hungaroring. Spa's an amazing race too.
I haven't been to that one.
That hill?
Yeah, it's insane. There's a few shots in the trailer that I've seen right now that are very impressive, where like the camera is, getting sun, and then like bam.
Well, that's where we wanted to a little bit.
Yeah, we probably aren't allowed to talk about the specific stuff.
But our cameras were able to operate.
Yeah, your cameras were able to do that. How are you deciding? Like, are you operating that, or how are you deciding when to do something like that?
No, we're operating. We're operating from a little zone. We did custom design a camera that was able to pan and operate from the central control place.
When are you storytelling-wise? When are you deciding to, for example, like in the trailer, when it just like slams?
It's all definitely choreographed. There's a whole, Brad is working with other stunt team drivers, and they're doing choreo. So we know when to go from, the stunt driver to Brad.
You guys are practicing that, and so you have kind of time to figure out also like, oh, that's a perfect time to pan over.
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole track, so we can kind of have time to kind of pan forward, pan back. Sometimes we use them to follow the cars. So yes, we definitely had, and that was quite a piece of engineering too, to get each of the different tracks, because they also, when it becomes to be Formula One, we're actually running a race. They're running all their signals, and we can't obviously interfere with their signals.
Yeah.
So we have this little tiny window that we kind of can fit in. What is particularly like a triumph is actually having these cameras function and seeing Brad able to go max speed on these races And it's beyond what normal filming equipment it normally does. Normally, film equipment, you could barely go above 60 miles an hour. And I've seen movies like that. And then that would have been a tragedy to shoot Formula One car going 60 miles an hour because we're being, on an actor base, that'd be sad. So I love the fact that both the actors worked really hard to get trained up. And it's really funny because, Brad's actually, as he's keep on racing, he's getting better.
Right.
And he's getting better. And he's better. And I'm going like, wow, maybe we should reshoot that.
Can we go back?
Because he's like faster. And it's funny enough, I'm like timing him, like compared to like real people. And he's doing good. He was great.
Did you guys ever use FPV drones or anything to follow the cars?
We kind of got out of that mode. A little bit.
I don't know if you've seen that Red Bull where they took an FPV drone and then they followed the F1 car. It's a very interesting perspective.
We kind of wanted to get out of FPV in a weird way. We felt like it was sort of this weird style that we just kind of wanted to stay away from. We did do helicopter work. There's some helicopter work in there. And that has a different feeling than maybe a drone. There's something feeling slightly more substantial for some reason.
Going into a shoot like this F1 movie, do you have, for example, when I talked to Larry Scher, he has comes up with kind of like a Bible for that movie. Do you have a similar process, or what's your process when you're?
It's a little hard for a definite Bible for this one because most of the races are starting at noon, right? So our Bible basically is just doing the best light you possibly can. And visceral real was kind of the paramount versus anything in this movie to make sure it feels real. We worked on very hard on ISO dampening, but not gyro stabilizing. So there's energy in the shots. Every camera position that was on the car had a different sensitivity of rubber.
Keeping it as visceral and real as possible.
Not too shaky. That was a little bit of a trick too. It had a great key grip. Sam Phillips was awesome. He worked really well with Mercedes, designing mounts and making sure also the drivers are safe.
When you watch the trailer right now or any of the trailers, what's the one shot for you as like, that's my favorite shot? Is there a favorite shot in there that you get pumped on, maybe because of the backstory or just how it looks and feels?
Well, I mean, in Top Gun, there was my favorite shot initially of Top Gun when you saw Tom Cruise come off the aircraft carrier. For me, that you go like, you've seen everyone do their little lean back on a blue screen and they do that, but they never did the drop, and the drop now connects it. So I also feel when you see Brad and you see the camera pan off, it's looking like a normal, really fast car, and you think, oh, that'd be a stunt guy, and then you see it pan and it's really Brad driving. I think that is kind of like, we're very successful with our approach.
Yeah. I love it. I will not take up more of your time. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I can't wait to see the movie. It's one of the movies that I've been most excited to see. So
a lot of F1 fans. Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, cool.